There's a coordinated global policy push for digital IDs as the new form of government-issued identification credentials. And they're essentially all based on your biometric data, which can be your fingerprints, your face, the iris of your eyeball. And the idea is essentially to collect all of that data and have it housed or have it tied directly to your digital ID. So your physical ID will be mapped to the digital ID. Digital IDs are not really a separate project from CBDCs and this new digital financial system. And UN documentation and also documentation from the Bank of International Settlements, they very overtly state that CBDCs and digital IDs are meant to go together. And without digital IDs, the CBDC digital finance system cannot exist. One of the reasons it can't exist without that is because of the KYC functionality built into this digital financial system. They have the know your customer protocols. They have to know who you are. And so they want to have your wallet tied to a digital ID and have that digital ID be mapped to your physical ID through the biometric data collection. So there's different efforts to make digital IDs either as NFTs, non-fungible tokens. There's also the efforts of Sam Altman of OpenAI and his WorldCoin project, whereby you scan your iris, you give them the biometric credentials of your eyeball. They give you a unique identifier, a digital ID, and it's inherently tied to a digital wallet. That is the same model the UN is using. They've already implemented it for refugees getting food assistance from the World Food Program. It's called Building Blocks. It's on blockchain. It involves refugees scanning their irises, and in order to buy food or receive their rations, they have to check out of a grocery store style place in the refugee camp, and they check out biometrically with an eyeball scan, and then the amount of food they have, the monetary value of that is subtracted from their digital wallet connected to their digital ID and their iris. So ID 2020, the UN and other stakeholders in this particular sphere often argue that the reason this is necessary is because of what they call the identity gap. And the identity gap is the claim that the lack of digital ID is preventing people, mainly the world's poor, from accessing essential services, whether it's banking, whether it's education, whether it's healthcare. They claim the only way for these people to be able to access these services is to onboard them to these identity schemes.
Big breaking update. French President Emmanuel Macron has officially ordered all hospitals across France to prepare for World War III. Antoine, yes, you heard that right. The order says that from now until next year, 2026, French hospitals must keep around 5,000 beds ready every month for the incoming wave of wounded and fallen NATO and French soldiers. Macron straight up declared that France is about to become the hub of the battlefield, the main ground where the fight will erupt, where people will collapse, where the war will truly hit. That's France. Doctors have been told to get ready for mass emergencies. And it doesn't stop there. The government has also ordered citizens to stock up on essentials. 6 liters of water per household, canned food supplies, batteries, torches, bandages, paracetamol. All because of the serious risk of a major nuclear conflict with Russia. Now here's the shocking scenario Macron laid out. NATO says Russia is preparing for direct war. And the trigger? China moving in on Taiwan. NATO forces will respond, but that will open the door for Russia to strike Europe, using weapons and tech China has secretly shared. And trust me, this is no ordinary threat. Leaked French documents warn that in case of a nuclear exchange, Europe could be destroyed in just 10 minutes. Macron admitted that if Russia launches just one Iskander missile loaded with multiple nuclear warheads, 6 countries could be wiped out instantly. Hospitals have been told to prepare not just for wounded soldiers, but also for civilians with PTSD, mental health crises, and war trauma. Entire war drills are being conducted for doctors and medics, how to handle large-scale emergencies, how to treat patients when supply chains collapse, and how to provide care in battlefield conditions. But here's the twist. Western analysts now fear that Russia never showed its real strength in Ukraine. They believe Russia deliberately hid its most destructive weapons to mislead Europe. Meaning, what we saw in Ukraine? That wasn't Russia's maximum power. The real weapons, the real destruction, they're holding back for the main fight. And when those advanced systems, combined with Chinese technology, enter the war, European fighter jets like Rafales and Eurofighters will be falling rapidly. This is why NATO's war preparation is now in overdrive.
What? Oh, you all think smoking kills? Let me tell you something. Do you know that the amount of people dying from diabetes are 3 times as many people dying from smoking? Yet if I pulled a Snicker bar, nobody would say anything. Do you know that the leading cause of lung cancer is not actually a cigarette? It's your DNA. You could smoke for years and nothing will ever happen to you. This whole war against smoking is just to restrict the farming of tobacco. Mr. Council Chair, fellow Toastmasters and guests, I use these arguments, even though I just made them up, with a group of my friends, and the results, 5 of them believed what I said. 2 of them started smoking. Words, when said and articulated in the right way, can change someone's mind. They can alter someone's belief. You have the power to bring someone from the slums of life and make a successful person out of them. Or destroy someone's happiness using only your words. Does that seem a bit too good to be true? A simple choice of word can make a difference between someone accepting or denying your message. You can have a very beautiful thing to say, but say it in the wrong words and it's gone. I have a son who's 4. And he had this bad habit of writing on the walls with crayons. And one evening I walked into his room and he's going at it, just writing and drawing and so on. And I said, hey. Are you stupid? Don't you ever do that again. And guess what happened? He did it again. Nobody likes to be threatened. Nobody likes to be intimidated. His pride would not allow it. He did it again just to spite me. A week later, I walked into his room and again, he's going at it. And this time, he was even looking at me just... I came down and said...
Picture this. The people rise up tomorrow, overthrow the government, and the government can't do a thing to stop it. But then what? You think you'd be free to rebuild everything from scratch? Or would the next regime, already waiting in the shadows, step in before the dust even settles? Every nation has continuity plans, hidden alliances, unelected power structures, and secret treaties that outlive elections. You just rip off the visible mask while the real machinery stays untouched. Banks, corporations, intelligence networks, they don't need flags to run the world. You could burn the Capitol, dismantle the military, even erase the Constitution, and still, the global system would quietly put the pieces back together exactly how they want them. Maybe that's why every revolution in history ends with different faces, but the same chains. So the real question is, if the game is rigged no matter who's in charge, would overthrowing the government even change anything? You be the judge. If you are awake, you already know what to do.